I have excellent news for the world. There's no such thing as downtown Chicago. It's a figment of people's imaginations. You won't find it in the list of 77 official community areas, nor will you find it in the list of 200 plus neighborhoods. In reality, it's a collection of neighborhoods in central Chicago like Streeterville, The Loop, River North, Lakeshore East, and what might be the best one of them all, the South Loop. Today, we are back in the South Loop to do what we do, show y'all around, some great places to eat, incredible things to do, a landmark here and there. Sorry, we're fresh out of history today, but since we continue to bring you the best Chicago content on the internet, that's all 3 W's, make sure you finesse that like button. Since we've got so much chutzpah on this channel, we decided to start our morning in the South Loop with a stop to 11 City Diner. Now, what is 11 City Diner, you may ask? Well, it is a Brooklyn Jewish-style deli right here in the heart of Chicago. This takes me back in multiple ways. One, because we came to 11 City Diner a few years ago for our original South Loop neighborhood guide. We actually got the lox in a box with bagel and everything. We had to take it to a park to eat it, because times were different back then. Today, I'm so overjoyed because we actually get to eat inside. It's a beautiful dining room with old school candy, bagels, pastrami, and the whole vibe just takes me back to my childhood days growing up in Williamsburg. So in honor of that, I got the lox and latke with sour cream, smoked salmon, capers, red onions. We got the challah French toast, powdered sugar and syrup, and of course, matzo ball soup. But you can't forget about that black coffee, hashtag no cream, no sugar. They serve up intelligentsia here at 11 City Diner, and we're just gonna get all up in this. Now, I know we've had some New York haters on the channel. We've tried to kick them out because we love New York. We love the culture, we love the history, and apparently we're not the only ones because you got here a Brooklyn-style deli right in the South Loop. So I know we're not alone. In fact, for the menu, when they're talking about the corned beef, pastrami, and all that, their little tagline is, the best west of the Lower East Side. Just to give you an idea of the vibes that you're getting here, they've been playing old school music. I'm talking so much, but I'm starving, so let me get into my food. But yeah, I love smoked salmon in the morning. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you probably know that. And normally we get it with a bagel. This is the first time I'm getting it with a latke, so I'm actually pretty hyped. Try to get a little bit of everything here, if I can, for the camera. Get a nice full bite. Lox and latke. Sorry to be cliche, but that is an amazing combination of flavors. And I'm starving this morning. I worked out chest and shoulders yesterday, plus I did some time on the treadmill. Didn't really eat much of a breakfast until we got here. So I'm about to destroy this latke.
Typically when we go to restaurants, I experience severe FOMO when I'm reading the menu. This menu at 11 City Diner has so many options, so I first thought maybe I'll get fries, crispy onion, a sandwich. But Louis said, let's just stick to breakfast items for now. So I ordered a challah French toast. This looks beautiful. And then a matzo ball soup. This will be the first time I will ever try matzo ball soup. I've seen it in the movies, I've seen it on TV, I've seen it in Jewish delis while people are eating next to us, and I've always wanted to try this. I was waiting for the right time, and today is the day. Every time we're in a Jewish deli in New York, because I had never tried this before, I always wondered about the texture of the matzo ball. And I would say that it is very pillowy. I'm gonna have to find a recipe for this because I feel like this would be super fun to make at home. I make chicken noodle soup for Louis all the time, so maybe we'll switch it up a little.
This looks amazing. This matzo ball soup looks so amazing. Just like Bubby used to make. The L train sound to me is just so comforting. I'm gonna get a white noise machine, but I'm gonna customize it with some L train noise, because that really puts me to sleep. No joke. So 11 City Diner, once again, was absolutely phenomenal. We didn't order a bagel today just because we're not in New York, but the matzo ball soup was great. That challah French toast was impeccable, and my lox and latke, oh, so good. Oh, the latke had the mashed potato consistency inside, crispiness on the outside, the onions, capers, sour cream, that smoked fish. The only bad thing I could say was that there wasn't enough lox. Your boy needs his lox, but that's okay. Next time I'll just order double. Extra fish, please. Now that's a great way to start your morning, with a Brooklyn-style deli right here in the heart of Chicago. And we may even try the bagels and the egg cream that they've got, maybe the pastrami, the roast beef. They've got a full menu. They even sell them old school candies. The vibes are immaculate, great service. You know what's coming next. 11 City Diner gets my coveted 5 Diamond Award. It's been a minute since we came to the Shed Aquarium, and even though Google Maps doesn't classify this as the South Loop, it definitely is. Otherwise, what neighborhood does Museum Campus belong to? We are so hyped because we love aquariums, we love museums, we love zoos, anything where we can observe beauty. Maybe the only problem we'll have is screaming kids today, so we'll try to filter that out of the audio for your listening pleasure. Now let's go learn about some aquatic species. I'm blue. I was a lobster or a shrimp or maybe a prawn, but I was blue.
We just walked into the gift shop, and now I'm very tempted to get one of each plushies for Rowdy.
The Shed Aquarium is a great spot for animal lovers, and that's what we are. We have a dog at home. We grew up with fish in the house, and we're actually waiting to go back to the Oceanarium for the 12:30 show. Now we're gonna check out the underwater beauty exhibit.
Who knew that in the very same city where deep dish pizza was created, you could see sharks, rockhopper penguins, and beluga whales? Well, I knew, but I just thought it was something fun to say. An institution here on Museum Campus in the Windy City. I've been coming here since I was a wee cub, and I always have a great time. For the first time in a long time though, Narissa and I sat down to watch one of the spotlight shows. So the beluga whales were doing their clicks and their waves and their little shimmies out of the water. It was a lot of fun, and they even concluded everything by playing a ballad from Sia. There's so much to see in here, from alligators to stingrays to clownfish, lionfish, jellyfish. Get it? There's a lot of fish in there. You know, like if you're coming from Georgia, this might not be the most exciting thing to do in Chicago, but otherwise, if you're anywhere in the Midwest or even the East Coast, you definitely will have fun here. You could spend 2 or 3 hours in here depending on how many shows you want to see. They also have a theater, so if you want to watch a show, I don't know, that's not really why I come to aquariums. I want to see things in front of my face, bubbling and making awkward smiles. Saturdays and Sundays, of course, are gonna be particularly busy days, but I don't think there's a time you can come to a place like this where it's really not gonna be busy, because even on the weekdays, kids have school field trips here. That's just talking about the inside of Shedd Aquarium. We're not even talking about the architecture. Looks like it was designed by King Triton. Beautiful neoclassical building. It is a super rare example of a blend of neoclassicism with aquatic architecture. Anybody could have a good time here, from the kids all the way to your bubby. Get to the chopper now, not now. We talked a lot about Grant Park on the channel, and that's definitely one of the biggest things to do in South Loop. It's the city's oldest park. It's humongous, a big part of downtown. It could be Chicago's Central Park, except for it's got all these roads and expressways chopping it up into a million pieces. But what I want to talk to y'all about is the Grant Park Skate Park near the intersection of Roosevelt and Michigan. This is where skaters can come wearing their Paul Rodriguez shoes to show off their Tony Hawk moves and do kick flips with the skyline of one of the world's greatest cities as the backdrop. Imagine you're a skater and you get these amazing photos, videos with the Sears Tower in back of you. Must be pretty dope. So let me know. Drop some skateboard emojis in the comments if you want Louis and Narissa to dust off the old longboards. We were big time skaters back in our college days, and we'd love to put together something for the channel. The South Loop is home to lots of beautiful street art and incredible public sculptures like Agora here on the southern end of Grant Park. Walking through here, these giant legs, it kind of makes me feel like I'm a giant walking amongst the skyscrapers. Like if Nema Tower were just a little bit taller than me. And speaking of Nema Tower, do y'all think we should move there? We could get amazing views of Lake Michigan, Grant Park, and the northern part of the skyline.
We had a great big breakfast. We did a couple of great activities in the South Loop. Now, you know, we have a big dinner planned, but we had to eat something in between, plus get our caffeine. So we're at Overflow Coffee in the South Loop, right on Michigan Avenue. I got the Kyoto Black Cold Brew, which is a coffee that I've had quite a number of times. They actually brew it locally. It's a Japanese style cold brew. And to go with that, got a Turkey Club panini. Yeah, just a little bite. I cannot wait to show y'all what we got lined up for dinner. But for now, it's sandwich and coffee time. Or if I were in New York, time for some coffee. All right, I'm gonna take a bite of my Turkey Club. Got some cheddar, avocado, bacon, and turkey lurkey. I'm liking it. Behind me is one of the oldest monuments in all of Chicago. It's a man on a horse. That man happens to be John A. Logan, for whom Logan Square is named. Now, this wasn't the best guy in all of history. He's not exactly the type of dude that you'd want to invite to meet your parents. But the statue is cool. It's a horse and a dude. As if it weren't already obvious by now, Narissa and I are really into photography and videography. It forms the basis of our composition for our films. I know a lot of people look at these as simple travel guides or Wikipedia articles being regurgitated, but we put a lot of care into our art. So coming to a place like the Museum of Contemporary Photography in the South Loop is a really, really amazing thing for us to do. Even better that it's completely free. There are 3 floors of exhibitions, it's part of Columbia College, and they're frequently rotating what they have on display. In a museum like this, you're not gonna find traditional photographs of landscapes or horses. What you'll find though are photographs that are gonna make you think, gonna show you new perspectives and kind of reframing old ideas of colonialism, like some of the exhibits that are on display today. I personally took some notes because I want to do some more studying on my own time, but that's my own business. Y'all don't need to know about that. Now we're all friends here. We all know about the Chicago grid. We also know about the Manhattan grid. But there's a key difference between New York's grid and Chicago's grid. In New York, Houston is the dividing line, and as you move north, the east-west streets are numbered. But in Chicago, Madison is the dividing line, and as you move south, the east-west streets are numbered. However, there's a huge monkey wrench in the Chicago grid because when they created it, there were already presidential streets in the loop, and they didn't want to impeach those streets, if you know what I mean. So what should be First Street is actually Monroe. And you've got Monroe, Jackson, Adams, Van Buren, Harrison. So the first numbered street that you'll encounter here in the South Loop is 8th Street. But it used to be 7th Street. What happened to that? Well, they renamed it after overall good Italian guy, Balbo. Not really a good guy, but they renamed it after him anyway. But really, as you move west in the city, the first numbered street you generally encounter is 13th Street. And now we come to the part of my Chicago neighborhood films that you're all waiting for. How did the South Loop get its name? It's actually not what you're thinking. This neighborhood got its name because it's the first neighborhood south of the Loop. I just blew your mind, didn't I? Yeah, keep going, that looks good. Earlier I hinted that we had a big dinner lined up, and now I'm at my first official seafood boil here in the South Loop neighborhood. We're at Low Country, which is inspired by the seafood boils of South Carolina. They're also known as Frogmore Stew or Beaufort Boil. This is all new to me. I have never had a seafood boil like this. They saw an opening in Chicago for an entry-level, lowbrow seafood value spot. And I could definitely get down with this. We're loving the decor. It smells incredible in here. I don't know how they're not making a Low Country candle, because I would definitely buy that and light it every single day. And what we got here is a feast fit for Kenny Powers himself. We got the payday. 2 snow crab clusters, a pound of shrimp, 2 pieces of corn, 3 potatoes, 2 cornbread, and on the side we got fried pickles, fried shrimp. We got a couple of sauces to dip. And with that, we got our bibs, we got our gloves, we got our bucket. We're not gonna be doing too much filming as we eat because we're not trying to get seafood juice all over the camera, but it just looks incredible. We're gonna do what we can to portray this experience to y'all out in Gusto Nation. Fried shrimp time.
Gusto Nation, who has the better claws, the snow crab or moi?
This is the Nike Lab X Low Country collab. We got the nice crab on the bib. Got a couple of gloves to keep our hands nice and clean. All right. I've never done a seafood boil. Normally, my butler peels all my seafood for me, but he's out of town right now. Check out this crab claw, just like a tiger claw, but in crab form. This is gonna be a good feast. Whee! Just wanted to show y'all the aftermath of this seafood boil. If y'all are still watching, comment some crab and shrimp emojis down below. I wanted to show y'all my content creator pants from GU in Soho. These are some nice baggy green cargo pants. That was a time when I threw all my cargo pants and shorts into the garbage. You know, in Florida, we like to wear them a lot, but then they went out of style. Well, they're back, says GU Tokyo. So I got a pair. I could fit a whole shotgun mic in one of these cargo. No joke, check it out. Look at that, that's a whole ass shotgun mic in there. That was an incredible day exploring the South Loop. Make sure you subscribe. And if you work for NEMA Chicago, we'd love a unit on one of the top floors overlooking Grant Park and Lake Michigan. Peace.